Welcome back, Bravehearts. I'm Dr. Daryl Wolf, and this is DocStar TV. And today's one-a-day is, well, let's just talk about this. If you decide to come on the platform with me, I'd like to try to just stretch your mind a little bit. And the rules of engagement with me, because I'm trying to stretch my mind every day. I'm trying to reshape it. I'm trying to erase and replace beliefs. I'm trying to bring up my spirit, my vibration. So when people come on my platform and they find like they've come on the wrong platform, they probably have. The reality of this is the rules of engagement are, if you come on with me, you want to have an open mind. You want to have an open heart. Look, I'm not trying to tell anybody what to think. I don't want any followers. That's not what I'm into. So I want everybody to get that. Now, some of the strangest things that you hear, okay, in life actually are true. And the things that you hear all the time that you believe in are actually usually a lie. And if the majority of the population buys into something, don't do it. Don't ever do it. And listen, like I told you, I'm not trying to get you to think what I think. I want to get you to just open up to the idea of always thinking and always trying to create something new. Always trying to rise above what you are already, reshaping, remolding, creating a better life for yourself. Look, if you're not selfish enough, okay, to understand, okay, that the majority of the population, okay, are food. And understand something right now. Humans are created, okay, and used as food. Did you get that? Humans have been created and they are being used as food, okay? Your emotions are food. They're the food for those who created the cage that you actually live in. How many people believe that they're caught in some kind of invisible cage? Okay, well, understand something. Planet Earth, okay, is a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure for those that are awake, which are very few and far between. Because most people are so programmable and they're so narrow in their thinking, they never want to open up. Look at feelings of happiness and joy are digestible, okay, for the others that created us. See, whether you believe it or not, every system, whether it's the medical system, whether it's the governmental system, it doesn't matter, even the support systems out there, we're all built to support an entity that lives off our emotions. Now, they can live off our happiness and our joy, okay, and understand something, but that's not as nourishing as sadness, depression, hate, anger, and jealousy. Okay, and if you really want to bring the game up, okay, what do? Well, pain on a small scale is good for them, but guess what? These parasitical entities have become so hungry that they've made all humans into their buffet. What am I trying to say here? Well, guess what? They love famine, they love war, they love pandemics. I mean, that is their buffet. And understand something. Babies and small children's pain and suffering is what they get off on the most. Now, you may think that I'm just making this up, but the reality is look at, I mean, I don't know if you can see this, but it's a beautiful planet. I don't know if you can see outside, but you know, for those people that are awake, they understand that they can have abundance on all levels. And understand something. I believe that we're recycled just like you recycle yourself. You know, just think about this. Oh my God, I don't know why I keep doing that, keep saying that, keep eating that, keep drinking that. Well, this whole planet is a program. And if you didn't notice, it's a program where we are all emotional beings. And those emotional beings that have learned how to master their emotions and be selfish enough to know that they have to brainwash themselves, and that a slight smile and connecting to your breath every day is part of how you escape this. But I'm going to tell you something right now, and you can believe it or not believe it. I'm going to answer a whole bunch of questions here today. Remember yesterday, all the people I said, if you've got any health questions or emotional questions, I'll answer them. They're on the other phone. I'll grab that in a second. But I'm just going to tell you something right now, and this is it. Do you know how big the universe is? Do you know, you haven't got a clue. Do you know how big your house is? Do you know how big the world is? I mean, the reality is we're so limited in our thinking. You know, a lot of people have gone for all of these, you know, this book was written. Let me tell you something. This entity that I'm talking about that lives off your emotions, and it gets high, it gets orgasmic when you are actually hurting yourself, hurting your family. Okay? Let me just say this. Look at all the human beings that work for the government or work for the medical system or work for the military or work for some kind of force to not just injure humans, but kill them and create suffering all over the world. So don't tell me that I'm wrong. Just do your homework a little bit. And the reality is this, we can't even get the chlorine out of the water. Okay? People drink bottled water, which is just awful. I mean, how many people are drinking beer right now and wine, okay, and alcohol right now? And they don't even know that they're poisoning themselves because everybody does it. And the reality is this, how many people even know this? They did a study of, and 19 out of 20 beer made, 19 out of 20 different types of wine, even if they're organic, have glyphosate in them. So understand something. You know what? We can't get the poison out of the air, out of the water, out of the food, out of the things we drink, because this entity created all this. And they live off our suffering, especially our children's suffering. So, whatever you want to believe, and you can believe in any fairy tale and or any religion that you want to believe in, and tell me that it dates back hundreds of thousands of years, and I'll tell you, it's still BS. It's just a belief system. And the reality is this, I'm going to keep saying it, that, you know, I teach unconditional love for the person first, and if they can master that, then they don't have to worry about anything. Because if you have unconditional love, you're going to make choices for you first. And that doesn't mean you're selfish. That doesn't mean that you're going to, I don't hurt anybody. Oh, I offend people. They come on here and they're terribly offended by me. Okay, who the hell does he think he is? You know, this is what I learned and this is what it's all about. Well, I want someone every day to come and shake up my beliefs. And if you don't want someone to come and shake up your beliefs, because guess what? I didn't do the study. 70 to 90% of all the beliefs that people have are based on corrupt thinking. Really? You don't believe me? Oh, well, then guess what? Why are we sicker than we've ever been? We're only sicker than we've ever been because they give us sick thoughts. They give us sick programs, and they make us hate each other. Whether you want to believe this or not, there's only thousands of different religions so that we'll all fight each other. Look at the Christians. They will justify killing people. You know, it's a holy war. You know, and when I say this, guess what? I was raised a born-again Christian, so just get this. So the reality is, listen, this world is messed up, but it is so beautiful. I love my day every day. I love my moment every day. And I'm going to tell you something right now. You cannot follow the majority. The majority are sick. Look, right now, people are going, I think I eat really good. You know, I only have a few drinks. I only have a few tokes. I only have a few of this. I only have a few of that. Man, if you knew how I am pulling in the reins so much on myself. The only way that you are going to break free from this planet prison is if you learn, okay, how to feed your spirit. Listen, everyone, I am going to do everything I possibly can. And because I know that abundance on any level, whether you're talking financial, emotional, nutritional, physical, or mental, I'm in control of it. There is no economic depression that's going to stop my mission. And guess what? Yes, our spirit was created by God Almighty, but not our body. Not this planet prison that is a planet prison for 999 people out of 1,000. 1 out of 1,000 people are kind of awake. 1 out of 10,000 people are awake. And when I go on here and people come on and they go, oh, this is my savior, that's my savior. Well, you better be your own savior. So don't give me that stuff. And you know, if your savior was so good, then why do you have all these problems in your life? Oh, because suffering is the way to the Lord. And this is not a preaching thing. I'm trying to tell you something. Why can't you just love and care for yourself? Why can't you just love and care for your family? Why can't you just observe and not judge them? Why do you have to judge yourself so harshly? And why would you opt to eat all of the poisons that they give us on an emotional, physical, or nutritional level? And you do. You do. Don't tell me how good you are, okay? Because most people aren't that good. 1 out of 10,000 people got this nailed. That is it. That's it. And I'm not picking on anyone. I'm going to keep talking like this because you have so much more. But understand this, it's the invisible that creates the physical. It's the actual psychological that rules the biological. I'm going to answer all these health questions, and if you have any health questions, I'll try to answer them. If I see them, I'll stop. But definitely on Facebook, because I know I'm on TikTok and Instagram, but I still don't even know how to run them. I don't even know if I want to learn. I love having you guys on, but I really don't want to know everything. Okay, I want to do this, and then I want to go out and go for an hour swim in the ocean. Okay, and I'm going to do a sand scrub today, and then I want to work on, my guide is called the Perfect Day Guide, and it's my gift to everyone. And yeah, we talk about our nutraceuticals in there, but the reality is 90% of this guide is just information. And if you were to take massive personal action on what I teach you in there, what I've learned from people that are much smarter than I am in different areas of life, and that's the God's truth. This Perfect Day Guide is 550 pages. It's a beautiful masterpiece created by Nat, our graphic artist, and it's been created over 40 years of my work. And it really is my gift to you. If you go to pdgfree.com, and then in 2 weeks, we're going to be, those of you who already purchased the hardcover, it's about that big. I have one, but it's in the other room. But it's about this big, guys. So it's a big one. You can put it on the coffee table. And there's lots of pictures in it to show you how to do things from nutritional to physical to emotional to the 12 loving steps. And it shows you with every symptom that you have, what emotional problem you've got. Oh yeah, not kidding. Eh? Oh no, it's genetic. This is genetic. I got this. In my family, it skips a generation, and there's no such thing as genetic diseases. But okay, if you want to believe that, because I'm going to tell you something. Your emotions create frequencies, and those frequencies go out into the universe. And I believe that which we call God's source energy actually just bounces back whatever we put out. So the more pain and suffering you are, the more pain and suffering you're going to have. Okay, there is no family curse. Okay, there is no such thing as a family blessing unless you're talking about the thoughts that you have. Because your thoughts create frequencies, and your frequencies actually create all matter and everything. I mean, this is just one big dream here. If you actually really understood what's really going on in the universe, you would know that this is fake and your spirit is real, okay? But you can't get that. People can't get that in their head because they feel if they can touch it, if they can see it. I mean, this is real, but it's not, okay? This is the illusion. And the reality is that you've got to protect your emotions. You've got to, and the only way you can do that is with self-love and self-care. If you don't want to buy into self-love or self-care, then just get ready and buckle up, because you are going to have the hardest trip of your life, and you're going to want it to end. And you're going to go, well, it sucks about getting old. And don't worry, though. You're going to be made to feel really comfortable, even if you're 40 pounds overweight, because everybody is blowing up and rotting out. Oh yeah, the whole population basically. I bet you that right now, supposedly, we're looking at 88% of the population is overweight. Okay, we're looking at 65% of the population is obese, and understand that we're talking about obese. Okay, so the reality is this: the majority of the population is going off the cliff, and so do I care? I do, but am I going to suffer over it? No way. And understand, you got to get rid of that whole suffering philosophy, okay? Whoever suffers the most in the family loves the family the most. That's such crock. That person's so empty, so exhausted, okay? And they're exhausting themselves and everybody else in the family, all right? So here's the deal. Never compare yourself to anyone else, because you have unlimited possibility, and you really do. Here, 1 second. I'm just going to grab my phone, okay? Okay. So yesterday, okay, the first thing that I was asked was, I'm just going to wave to a couple people here, play the game. But I will tell you, everyone, that I'm here on this planet, and I used to struggle a lot with a lot of things. You know, I was born again Christian, and the reality is my father was a part-time pastor, and I'll tell you, I went through the whole sinner thing. I always thought I was going to hell. I used to go to bed and banging my head on the pillow to put myself to sleep because I knew I was going to go to hell, because believe it or not, my father was a pastor and he couldn't tell me what I needed to do to get a ticket to ride to heaven for eternity and sit with Jesus. And that really bothered me. But, you know, I'm coming out of that one, I'll tell you right now. And the reality is this. Is you know what, I'm the only one that's going to save myself, and the only way I can save myself is be in the present moment, connected to my breath, a slight smile on my face. No matter what bomb goes off or what crisis goes off, there will be no crisis for me. You watch. And I do have big crises things happening because we're carrying on really big projects. I've got the most advanced health app coming out. That's an app's never been out like this before, I've been told. And that will be out in April. And this book that I want to gift the world with, I mean, isn't that what it's all about? Is to make a difference? Make a difference with yourself first and foremost, though, okay? And don't be giving out your energy. Remember something, your energy is the greatest asset you have. So don't just go throwing out there. And I'll tell you something, you know who throws their energy around and wastes it? People that believe that, guess what, the more you suffer, and the people that actually believe that their family, their friends, and the world's responsible for filling up your heart and making you feel worthy. That is such BS, and that doesn't stand for beach and sun, okay? All right, let's get on to it. So here's the deal. So the first thing I was asked is, Dr. Wolf, I've had hemorrhoids. I've had them for 10 years off and on. Well, right off the bat, everything that we have physically was actually created emotionally first. And guess what? Wouldn't you say that somebody who has hemorrhoids for 10 years has a problem with letting go? A problem with letting go emotionally? And if you let go emotionally, then you'll pile up your emotions in your large intestine. Pile up your emotions. And what are hemorrhoids called? They're called piles, because you're piling up things on an emotional and physical level. And the reality is that person who gets the hemorrhoids all the time, I'm always going to tell you what is the way to do it. And then you can say, okay, or he's just doing another sales pitch. How's that? There'll always be those people out there. If this person were to get on my daily cleansing tea, which has no laxatives, no stimulants, it's about the price of a coffee, a medium coffee every day. You start off with 4 ounces in the morning, 4 ounces at night, and you work your way up to about 8 ounces twice a day. Tastes like iced tea. You can put it in soup, you can put it in your blender drink, or you could just mix a little bit of maple syrup with it, or take it straight. Just tastes like iced tea. And then if they were to do like a tablespoon of what's called black gold humic fulvic, our humic fulvic is the only humic fulvic that is not made with chemicals, and that I know of. And if you did a tablespoon of that twice a day in a blender drink, but also remember something, everyone, here's the deal. Everything is vibration. This person who's had hemorrhoids for 10 years, if you were to ask her family members and friends, does she have a hard time letting go? They don't. No shit. And you know why? Because she's not having one. Okay, do you get that? And the reality is this: when you can't let go emotionally, you can't let go physically. Oh my God, I feel like I'm tying my stomach in knots. Well, you're not tying your stomach. You're tying your large intestine up in knots, actually. And leaky gut doesn't happen anywhere. So anyway, so the hemorrhoid thing, in Canada, we have what's called a CBD bullet. And this CBD bullet has 250 milligrams of CBD. It won't make you high. You put the CBD bullet into the rectum, and you could do that twice a day, and in 3 days, your hemorrhoids are gone. Okay. The other thing that you can do is you can do what we call a vaginal infusion rectally. But the most important thing this person can do is to actually start looking at a whole plant-based diet. 2 blender drinks a day of berries. Berries are the highest in antioxidants of fruit. Also, they're the best for fighting any type of carcinogens or fighting any type of cancers in the body or any really inflammatory problems. Berries are always the best. And don't be putting in 2 or 3. Just put 1 berry in. Use coconut milk or use almond milk. And then put a tablespoon of black gold in there. I'll crack in 2 to 3 raw eggs, because when you use You can totally absorb the raw eggs. And believe it or not, I don't care for cooked eggs much anymore. I just don't even go near them because I like everything to be maximum digestion. When you cook an egg, it's around 17% that you digest. So there's a lot of wastage. When you use a raw egg, you're up at 77 to 80% that you actually digest properly. So that's why it's so easy to eat a raw organic egg. And please don't worry about the salmonella thing. That is such a crock. You can't even tell me somebody that had salmonella unless they made a blender drink with raw eggs and put it out in the sun and left it there for a few hours. So everything is going to be bullshit and lies. And my apologies, but sometimes I just want to say that because it just gets to be so much. And the problem is the majority of the population will eat anything emotionally and physically, okay? They will eat anything and they will take anything in and believe it. If it's, okay, repeat a lie long enough and strong enough, it's everybody's truth. That's all. And then I come along and say something and it's like, oh my God, okay? What is the meme of? Oh, the name of the tea? The tea is called Daily Cleansing Tea. And it is the best cleanser because the Daily Cleansing Tea will clean all of your organs and your blood, and there's no stimulants, no laxatives. It's not addictive. I'm not kidding. And there's 5 main herbs in it, but it will cleanse your colon, your liver, your blood, your lymph, your lungs, and your kidneys. Okay? All right? And it'll do it gently. Remember something, everyone. If I did gentle baby, loving, caring steps for myself every day, and I did it enough days that I did it unconsciously, I would never be sick. And understand something right now. This is where the world is really messed up, okay? Okay, first of all, you've got about 95% of the population that actually will wait until they're broken, and then they're going to go to the almighty doctor that will fix them, whether it's me or someone else. That's BS. We cannot cure anyone. We cannot fix anyone. But what we can do is we can show you techniques and give you things to bring your body into alignment, to bring it into harmony again. You understand, nobody gets sick. Did you get that? So people don't get sick. What people call sickness is the body trying to get well. Because with sickness comes fevers, comes sweating, comes chills, comes diarrhea, comes heartburn, comes aches and pains in your joints. And this is all your body cells contracting, trying to get rid of the poisons so that you don't create cancer cells. That's all it is. So everybody goes, oh, I had to stay home last week because I was getting sick. I got sick. No, you didn't. You had to stay home last week because you were getting well because you took your body into hell. Oh my God. Let's just say this. 60 to 80% of the population is going to have fever, vomiting, chills, achy muscles, diarrhea, okay, skin rashes, migraine headaches, anytime about, let's say, January the 2nd, and it's going to ramp itself up by the 1st of February, and then we get to do the whole COVID BS again, and then everybody's going to run around saying, well, I went to work and I caught a virus from Jenny, I never liked her. No, it's called self-poisoning. Autoimmune disease means that you actually poisoned yourself on an emotional, nutritional, and physical level, and that's it. Can I give the Daily Cleansing Tea to children? We don't have one product that we sell that you couldn't give it to your children, your cat, your dog. Do you understand? Okay, we're talking about nature. We're talking about nature here. So let's say if there's a dosage, and the dosage is for adults, 8 ounces of Daily Cleansing Tea twice a day. And let's say the child weighed 50 pounds. Well, if we work off the weight of 150 pounds, let's work off the weight of 150, or it could be more, 150 to 200, let's say that's an adult's weight. So if the child weighed 50 pounds, that would be 1/3. So if it was 1/3, and that would be 1/3 of any of the nutraceuticals we have. If you go with 1/3, you're always going to be fine. And if you want to start off with the tea, start off more gentle, so there's no detox reactions, go with 1/4. So if the child was 50 pounds, which would be 1/3 of 150, still go with 1/4 and then graduate it. And I just want to say something here. Let me see here. Who is this? Kay. Listen, Kay. I want to tell you something. If you got your children, okay, on Black Gold, and you made a blender drink for them out of berries and coconut milk, okay, and then you added a teaspoon of Black Gold for every child into the blender drink, and if you add a raw egg, it's going to give it real thickness, and it's going to make it taste like a milkshake. I'm serious. They will just love it. You don't even have to tell them the egg's in there, but it's going to help build them. And I'm going to tell you this, that if you put the Black Gold in there, Black Gold is a humic fulvic. Our humic fulvic has never been treated with chemicals, the only one in the world I know of. And when it goes into their digestive tract, Black Gold from the mouth to the rectum will get the heavy metals, will get the viruses, will get the bacteria, and it will suck that stuff up and the acid, but it drops off 80 micronutrients into the digestive tract to help to feed. But when the Black Gold gets to the large intestine, guess what? It brings back mummy's good bacteria. I don't care what bacteria you buy. It will never reinstate into the large intestine because it's not natural. It won't. The only bacteria that the large intestine will actually build and really keeps the immunity is actually mummy's. And Black Gold and Daily Cleansing Tea will bring that back. Especially, get my guide at pdgfree.com and understand something. When you go through this guide, you're going to go, this guide is worth hundreds of dollars. And you're going to. I know you will. I know you will. That's not me being arrogant. That's just me putting 40 years of my work together and from other people. I shouldn't say my work. From the people I think were brilliant and that would give back people their power. You know, that's what you got to do. If your practitioner is not going to give you back your power to love and care for yourself, you're at the wrong practitioner. If you're at a practitioner who says, well, you know, I'm not able to help you, well, then they're limited in their beliefs. There's nothing that can't be reversed. And if your practitioner is scaring the living crap out of you, then buy some Nikes and run like hell, because all of this is BS. All of it's BS. Okay? I will never scare you except take you to the cliff and show you how far the fall is. That's all I want to do when I come on here. I want to scare you enough to go, holy shit. I think he's right. Okay? So the Daily Cleansing Tea, if you give that to your children, just start off with a little bit twice a day. And then do a teaspoon of Black Gold twice a day in a nice blender drink of fresh berries, organic berries, maybe a raw egg, some Black Gold, some almond or coconut milk. And make sure you download an app from the App Store. Okay, one was called Bobby. There's a few of them. I mentioned them in my Perfect Day Guide. And then scan the foods you buy, because you have to understand, I already told you this. It doesn't matter if you don't believe me. Just because you don't believe me doesn't make it a lie. And that is this. There is a God. But God's not going to intervene. You have a spirit. It's attached to that which we call Source God. The body was not created by God. You can think that if you want. Okay? If I didn't know what I knew, I would feel trapped on this planet and desperate. That's the way I used to be when I was younger. Trapped and desperate. And also believing that I was going to hell because I could never be good enough. Now I've gotten rid of all that stuff. But I do know that there is an entity on this planet. And this is a prison planet. And the reality is, if you don't want to do spirit work and learn how to really bring your spirit up and really shine your light, well, guess what? You'll be recycled and recycled, just like you recycle. You know, people that don't understand that if you're not changing your beliefs and bringing them more closer to unconditional love and care for yourself and for learning how to observe instead of judge other people in the world, well, you are screwed. You're screwed. Oh, yeah, you'll have some good times. Most of that means that most of you are going to go, hey, honey, let's plan to go out and have some fun on Friday. Well, who would ever do that? I plan to have fun every minute of every moment. You need to get that. I am not planning to go and have fun on Friday. And then what most people call that is banging a couple drinks back or some tokes or who knows, some type of drug or something like. I am the drug. Look at self-love and self-care is the drug. You feeding your spirit is the drug. You are an amazing, beautiful, spirit, and we were all created by the same creator. So you can come down here and you can buy into any story you want to read out of any book, and then you can believe that you're the chosen, going to be enlightened when you die. Well, understand something. I'm going to be enlightened right now, and I know I never die. I never die. The spirit never dies. And guess what? I am going to make the best out of this physical, life-threatening adventure, but I'm not going to keep on coming back here and be recycled over and over again. And whether you want to believe it or not, take a look at your life. If you're doing the same thing, making the same amount of money, just getting by, if you can't get rid of that skin condition, that health condition, then you're not changing. If you don't change, nothing changes. And if you don't want to change your belief systems, then fine, then just stay there. Okay? And understand, most people, they haven't got what it takes to change their belief systems or their personality enough to have the life that they could have here. No, Dr. Wolf, I don't want to change my habits. I like what I eat. Meanwhile, it's killing them. And okay, I'm not going to fight with them. And I just want to reduce the pain. Can I just reduce the pain? Okay? Or can I just live long enough to see my children get married? Wow, I guess so. I mean, whatever you want. So hemorrhoids, not letting go. Daily cleansing tea, black gold. Get my perfect day guide. And go in and look at the perfect day diet, and then try to start getting involved in that. And remember something, everybody. Your subconscious was created by these entities. Yeah. You think I'm kidding? Why would the creator of everything create a subconscious that makes up 90% of our brain, and all it is a storage shed for belief systems? So try to picture this. Your subconscious is like a computer you just bought from the store. And then this entity that's down here that feeds off all the pain and suffering and the killing that we like to do and the hating we want to do, like people coming on here right now and hating me, that's just really cool. But this is what feeds them. They get off on this. They get, it's all about emotion. Have you never seen the animation? Go home and watch it tonight. Monsters, Inc. I mean, they have to legally, it's universal law. They have to legally show us through the movies, in the newspaper. They just need to put it out there that they're feeding off of us, right? Go watch Monsters, Inc. It's an animation. Sit down there and enjoy it. It's a really great animation. And the reality is, the first time I watched it with my kids, I went, bam, oh my God, this is ridiculous. And guess what? I went, oh my God. And I said to my kids right there, do you guys get this? That's exactly what's going on down here. They feed off our emotions. Oh, they don't mind happiness and joy, but they love hate, anger, depression. They love murder and mayhem and pandemics. Well, look at it this way. Nobody can seem to stop it. And now we're just all going nuts over it, aren't we? Well, who do you hate today? Well, just know that you're getting, this entity is getting off on you hating whatever you hate. What about you loving? What about you bringing up your vibration? What about you healing and loving and caressing yourself and caring for yourself? All right, let me see. I'm going to back it up here. Give me 1 second. So hemorrhoids, yeah, not letting go. Talk about, let me see, verruca. Okay, verruca. Those are warts, okay? And she says her children has them, okay? They're on their feet, or at least her daughter does. See, I don't take people's names. I just take their questions, so you know that, right? I wish the names did come. At least I could say their first name. But so warts are actually created. Are you ready for this? So that little girl did some heavy-duty antibiotics that really messed her bowel up. Environment creates everything. So the environment will always create the pathogen. Do you understand? So it's like this. What came first, the swamp or the mosquito? Well, the swamp came first, then the mosquito. So what came first? Well, the antibiotics, the constipation, and that caused mutation of the good bacteria, changed the yeast into fungus. And then what that did was that created an environment to breed different types of microbes that were not friendly, okay? The lower the vibration is, in your body, the lower the vibration is in your mind, the more toxic your life is going to be. But the lower the vibration is, the more parasites you're going to have, like viruses. But they're not alive. Viruses aren't alive. Just know that. They can't jump 1 inch less 6 feet. Go look it up. It's in the dictionary. Look under virus, and it says toxin. It just means toxin in Greek. But, 99% of the population still hasn't taken the time to look it up in the dictionary. No, they just had time to go get a mask and run around like scared people for what, 3 years? Okay. You couldn't get sick from a virus if you tried. Okay, even though you have these scientists on there talking about all of this, they don't know what they're talking about. There's no science to even back it. And the reality is the subconscious, which is 90% of your brain, it has one job, and that's to stop you from doing anything else in your life, even if it could save your life or change your life. Yeah, that's right. Isn't that something cool? And it's 90% of your brain. Don't tell me God created it. Anyway, so it's just an empty computer. They shove these disgusting, toxic programs into our brain from 0 to 7. Okay, 0 to 7, because while you're in the womb, you're picking up all the frequencies and vibrations from your mother freaking out. Okay, because you know that everybody's parents, that might be 1 in 10,000, but everybody who ever got married, they didn't get married because they knew how to love themselves, care for themselves, or care for another human being. They did it because they were so desperate for love. You think about it and then tell me I'm wrong. I got married because I was desperate for love, and I needed someone to love me, and I needed to love someone. What if I would have got into my first marriage and I totally loved and cared for myself? Then I wouldn't be sucking off of my wife, and then I could have shined my light on her to help her change, and she could shine her light on me. But when we desperately need love, we are victims. That's the only, victimitis is the only pandemic I see. Okay, so again, where were we? So let's get back to the verruca warts. So what happens is the bowel gets really messed up. It backs up onto the liver, and the warts are actually coming from the liver. So I don't know how old your daughter is, but you need to take a look again at Daily Cleansing Tea, Black Gold, and you got to get her off the sugars, and you got to get her off the flour products, the dead animals, and any processed foods. I mean, you've got to eat nature. If it was wrapped by nature, then you can eat it. How's that? Okay? And we can live off of ancient grains, whole grains, starch foods like yams, and all the salads and all the fruit, and oh my God, that's how you change things. And then start drinking more water. People don't drink water. They think they do. They carry around their water container all day. And how many times did you refill it? I will do 3 to 4 quarts of liquid every day. I've already done 2 quarts of vegetable juice and 1 quart of water, and I'll kick another 3 quarts in today. Oh yeah, did you hear about the person that drowned in England? There was a video going around about 2 weeks ago how there's this clinic going to be sued because they didn't realize that the woman was unstable and she drank so much water she died. Are you going to try to get me to really believe that BS? Do you think you can get me to believe that? Oh, and by the way, too, any doctors out there or practitioners, if you want to come on and you're logical and you want to stay really calm about it, come and challenge me. We'll do a show. That should be fun. That's called Real TV. I don't mind doing a show. I don't mind. I'll learn from you. You learn from me. But anybody that doesn't believe me or thinks that I'm wrong, I don't mind being challenged. My phone number is 469-861-8884. Easy enough to remember, okay? But the warts will go away. Now, here's how you're going to get the warts to go away. You're going to get DMSO gel, okay? You're going to get DMSO gel, and you're going to put it on a little Band-Aid. And you only want to get the DMSO gel. You'll see it on my website at store.docofdetox.com. You take the DMSO gel, and you're going to want to put it on a little Band-Aid and then put it on the wart, okay? And you're going to want to do that continually. Keep putting the DMSO there. The DMSO is made from pine trees. It's non-toxic. And you can mix a little bit of frankincense. Frankincense is stronger that we have. And if you mix that with the DMSO and you put that on the wart and then keep it covered tight, okay, with a Band-Aid, it will fall off in a few days. But if you don't go in and cleanse your colon and do what's called the ultimate coffee enema, on your little girl so that you can start purging her liver, then she's always going to have warts. So you have to understand that it's not a viral infection, it's a bacterial infection, and all bacterial infections are created in the large intestine. And if you've got your little girl eating a lot of flour products and sugar and dairy, well, then she's got a fatty liver. How many people know that right now that 30% of children have fatty liver? And fatty liver means that the liver's fat, and the liver has to get fat because we make fat to store the inflammation and the infection. And so that means that we know that children and adults are eating 100 times more sugar than 1900 right now, okay? So anyways, you've got to get off of all that, and you've got to purge your colon and purge your liver and bring up the vibration and understand something. The liver stores hate, okay? The liver stores hate, all right? Anger, okay? And what does the colon store? Everything that you can't face and everything that is highly toxic will be stored down in the large intestine because you don't want to look at it. You just want to bury it. When you bury things, it'll come back after you. Okay? All right? Let me see here. Is there a way to break up fatty tumors? Again, we're back to using lots of DMSO gel. And just know fatty tumors are actually homes for parasites, worms, mainly worms. Fatty tumors breed worms. How many people here know that 99 out of 100 people have worms? How many people know that anybody that has what we call a dis-ease has worms? How many people know that anybody who has a chronic symptom has worms? There, how you doing? How many people know that with all autoimmune diseases, there is what? Tissue rotting. And what happens if you found something that was dead or rotting out in nature? Would there be worms there? Would there be bad bacteria there? Would there be fungus there? There'd be the whole parasite party. So anybody that has a disease is full of parasites. And if you go and read my book, which you can download for free, pdgfree.com, go in and read the Parasite Party, and you can find out that you could do a parasite cleanse 3 or 4 times a year, and you're not going to get rid of parasites because the environment creates everything. What did I tell you? Did I say it before? I said what came first, the swamp or the mosquito. So you became a swamp, and now you got mosquitoes. And I don't have parasites, but I have good parasites. Like there's a parasite right now crawling right here on the top of my eyelid back and forth. And what it does, it eats the dead skin that falls down. We have good parasites. We have great bacteria. We have yeast in our body that we need. But the reality is you've got your negative stuff too, right? Where you should have 85% good bacteria in your large intestine, 15% bad. That's about average. Most people have 85% bad and only 15% good. That's why, guess what? The human race is going extinct, and they're going really slow. Because why? Because they're rotting out. They're rotting out in their pelvis because their large intestine's so rotten because they only have a 4-inch consciousness, and if it'll fit in their mouth, they'll eat it. It doesn't have to be real food. All it has to be is addictive. That's why I'm saying that the brain was actually manipulated, and it was created by the same entity that feeds off our suffering on this planet. Oh, really? Really, guys? We can't figure out how to stop killing each other, how to stop poisoning each other. I mean, this is so beyond ridiculous. And you can tell that 99% of the population, okay, is in a coma, because anybody with a logic mind would go, oh my God, really? Really? The water's poisoned, the food's poisoned, they poison the air, we can't figure out how to stop it. We are on a slave planet. But guess what? I'm having a good old time here. And I realize this, that the universe is a game like any other game. Once you master this level, you'll move to the next. But I'm going to tell you something. The majority of the population is going to be recycled for millions of years down here. They're always telling you that the planet's dying. No. Human beings are killing each other, killing themselves and each other. That's the only thing dying. You know, the planet's not going extinct. extinction means 30 to 40% of the planet's leaving, and that's true. I'd say by 2032, there will be a 30% population decrease. I'll be around, so you can we'll talk about it when we get there. Because guess what? People are eating themselves to death, and they're killing each other. They're killing themselves. They're poisoning each other. You know, who do you hate today? Maybe it's me. I'm going to love you anyway. Okay, what about polyps? Polyps are actually warts in the large intestine. And understand something. You'll never have a polyp in your large intestine unless you had fecal matter that was rotting inside of you. Okay, so, my friends, they would go picking magic mushrooms. Where do you pick them? You pick magic mushrooms where there's a cow field usually, and where there's manure that's just been sitting there rotting, creating the terrain for mushrooms to grow. So let's look at a polyp as a mushroom wart. So now you can get polyps in the nose, and that's only because of so much inflammation, okay, that you have tissue degradation. The tissue is actually dying in the nose, okay, because it's so inflamed, all right? And a lot of times the polyps in the nose are caused because of dairy, believe it or not, okay? Yeah, it's true. Now, in the bowel, when you get a polyp, which is like a fungus wart, okay, just know that there's been a lot of backing up of waste on the liver, because the liver never gets in trouble, honestly, unless you're an alcoholic. The liver never gets in trouble unless the large intestine is not functioning properly and the waste gets backed up, and then you start reabsorbing the waste because of autoimmune disease, because your large intestine becomes a screen door like in a submarine because of all the antibiotics that are in all the animal products and all the farm fish and all the dairy and all the yogurt. And then people who are eating Greek yogurt right now and going, oh no, I eat Greek yogurt. I'm seriously? Does nobody think about anything? You eat Greek yogurt, it's still from a cow, the bacteria is still dead, it's pasteurized, dairy's good for no human being, O's can eat it better than other blood types, but it's still not good for anybody. And the reality is that it's mucus forming, because even a doctor will say, hey, when you've got a cold or a flu, don't do dairy. But what? Okay, so why is that? Well, because it causes mucus congestion. Well, then why am I eating it after the cold and flu? Well, because guess what? I'm a doctor, I know nothing about health, and I'm just a robot, and I just get these messages and I'm told what to say. There's not a medical doctor out there that, okay, unless they have studied nutrition and they've went off the beaten path, that know anything about health. Anyways, guess what? Your polyps will leave with, if they're nose polyps, you're going to get yourself a nebulizer. Guys, they're cheap. Go on Amazon. Nebulizer is going to cost you like, $60. So you get a nebulizer, and you can put infinite iodine in there. It's the only pure iodine on the planet. Nacean iodine, Lugol's iodine. They're not, and you couldn't do this anyways. You wouldn't be able to nebulize it. So you can nebulize the infinite iodine, and you can do it straight, or you can take the infinite iodine and do one part iodine, 3 parts distilled water, mix that, and then nebulize that, and the iodine will kill, not kill, because you can't kill a virus, because it's dead already, but it will dismantle a virus in 15 seconds. It will neutralize and kill a bacteria in 15 seconds, or a fungus in here. So if you nebulize like you're addicted to it, like people are addicted to vaping, and you did the infinite iodine, and then you switched it off, and you can also use Silver Bullet Liquid and Bright Eyes Humic Fulvic 50/50, and you did that, your polyps will be gone in 3 weeks. But nebulize in the car while you're driving, watching the movie or whatever. And everybody in your family, everybody out there should be getting for Christmas a plug-in nebulizer, a good one from the drugstore or Amazon, where when you're watching TV, you should be nebulizing. Because guess what? When you nebulize, that infinite iodine will go into your brain, into your blood, into your sinuses. It'll go into your lungs, okay? It will clean even out the back of your eyes. It is the most phenomenal thing you'll ever do, okay? If you take the Silver Bullet Liquid and you take the Bright Eyes 50/50, you can nebulize that as well. So you alternate, okay? Because we want to really mix up these bad bacteria and these fungus and these worms. None of them can take it. They can't take this stuff, okay? So nebulizing, let me tell you something. We have people nebulizing, and one every month to every 3 weeks, we've got a lung cancer patient. Oh yeah, they're doing our other things like thunder shrooms and Merigen and the ultimate coffee enema, and they're doing the diet that we put together for them. And guys, for $150, but right now my biggest sale of the year is on my Boxing Day sale, so it's 25% off everything and 25% off the consults, and they're only $150, and that means that you get lifetime calling with us free on an 800 number. Where do you get that? Okay, and you've got 30-day money-back guarantee that we don't blow your minds. Okay, all right, but at least get the PDG free.com guide. Okay, you get that, and then go through that and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, so now we're going to nebulize. What were we talking about here? In 1 second. Polyps. Now, if you've got polyps in your large intestine, and just understand something, okay, this is really gonna love this one. Okay, but 60% of the population over the age of 60 has polyps, okay? So just so you know that. So just so you know that they do. And those are, like I said, they are like a mushroom wart, and they wouldn't be there if you weren't rotting out in your large intestine and if you didn't back up onto your liver. Now, if you go in and you snip off a polyp, it's gonna bleed. Do you know how much infection's in there if that infection gets into that open wound? Not really smart. I'm going to tell you something. Are polyps life-threatening? No. Do they tell you that those polyps could become cancerous? Well, of course they could. But are they? No. The reality is this. If you were to go and get a perfect day consultation, because I'm trying to tell you, you need guidance. Everybody needs a guide. Everybody needs a coach. Yes or no? You know what? How would you like to have somebody that's going to help keep you on the right path? That's how we do it, right? Anyways, so you go ahead and snip those polyps off. They're just going to come back. Now, did the polyps actually grow inside your large intestine or nose because you didn't have a knife to cut them out? You didn't cut them out fast enough? Or did they grow there because the inner terrain was toxic? Let me tell you something. It's all about light, it's all about frequency, it's all about health, okay? If you go into a cave that gets no light, you're gonna see a lot of fungus in there, aren't you? All right, that's why women that have vaginitis have yeast infections. There's no light in their vagina, it's dark, low vibrational vagina. Emotionally, maybe they felt sex is dirty, maybe they don't have, maybe their husband cheated on them. And then the other thing is, what about this? What about the putrefaction in the large intestine, and then the antibiotics that cause pinholes through your large intestine, and now you're pooping into your vagina? Okay, do you know how many women actually have what's called a fistula, which is a hole in the large intestine that actually leaks waste into their vagina? They'll, Dr. Wolf, yes, I don't know why, but when I wipe after I go to the bathroom and I urinate, it smells like poo and it looks brown. And I go, well, you've got a fistula, and we've got to heal that, because if you don't, you're going to have cysts, you're going to have tumors, you're going to go infertile, you'll have bladder infections. Okay, so understand, and even if you didn't have a fistula, okay, or a fissure, which is a crack down by your anus that allows the seepage to go in, what do you think autoimmune disease is? Autoimmune disease is you having pinholes in your large intestine. That's where 98%, 98% of all disease comes from. If you would have respected and honored your large intestine, which the medical system doesn't, I mean, they attack it with a chemo bomb, because antibiotics are like chemo, okay? All right, let's get back to the bowel. So if you've got polyps in your bowel, daily cleansing tea, black gold, and get on a whole plant-based food diet. If you can wrap your head around this, I would also, if I was a woman, I'd be doing vaginal infusions. Go take a look at my Perfect Day Guide. You can get it for free at pdgfree.com. And The other thing you should be doing if you're a man or a woman is the ultimate coffee enema, so you can start purging the colon and purging the liver. Because guess what? If you want to feel young again, just know this. How many people own a car here? Okay, right now, we just took our car in this morning, Lori, to get the filter done, the oil done, and we'll do that like 4 times a year. Now, when's the last time that you had a filter oil change grease job? And that would actually be you purging and cleansing your liver. And you know what? That's why you feel old. That's why you have chronic fatigue. That's why you have fibromyalgia. That's why you have a fatty liver. That's why you have cirrhosis of the liver. Okay? That's why you don't have any energy anymore. Okay? Because your liver does over 300 jobs. And, you know, that filter's so clogged up. Look at how much poison you've taken in. I mean, I take in poison every day. There's no way of getting around it. But they're not going to kill me. You'll never hear that I have a disease. You'll never hear that I'm in bed sick. It's just not happening. I can teach you all this. I'm going to tell you something right now. Everything's a lie, because we'll have people come to us and take our 23-day course, which is called New World Practitioner, where they take a whole life coach certification and Wolf Non-Surgical. And they do get taught the world's most powerful body work, where we can take a fibroid and reduce it by 30% in about 40 minutes, and especially if you're using our other energy medicine things that we do. And as far as our whole life coach certification, we can teach you in 9 days on how to do a perfect day consult with anyone from constipation to cancer. Oh, people just, they don't like when I say this, especially the health professionals out there. You want to talk about frying their butt. And do you think I'm doing it to fry their butt? No. Listen, just because somebody went and spent $50,000, okay, went to school for 4 years, okay, I'm not going to not tell the truth. I will take anybody, okay, I will take a person out of each class, which is only 9 days, 9 days of training, and I will take any naturopathic doctor or any other nutritionist out there that can't get somebody well, and we will challenge me. This next course here is in Ixtapa. It starts January the 8th. It'll be over 9 days after that, so over on around the 18th, 19th. I'll pick someone who's taking my course for the first time. Let's pick, maybe they could have been an accountant, they could have been a nurse, they could have been a doctor, because we have all ranges. They could be somebody just out of high school coming to take my course because they want to do it. I get to pick them, and then if you want to pick that, you got to pick a patient that you couldn't help. Then what I'll do is that they get to go with this person, and guess what? All I want is 3 months. And guess what? 6 weeks to 3 months, and we'll do what you couldn't do. Because I'm going to tell you something. Everybody can become their own practitioner, their own doctor. Anybody can heal themselves. And understand something. We teach people how to teach people, not treat people. Oh yeah, people will come and get taught. But any patient that comes or client comes, every one of my practitioners know this. You train them. You train them what you know. You don't keep them crippled and keep them into victims. You know what? The reality is you don't have to believe it or not. There's an evil entity on this planet that rules all the systems here and is poisoning human beings and living off our suffering. And it's not hard to get natural health practitioners to disempower their patients and their clients and not tell them the truth. Why? Because we all have poverty consciousness. Well, there's just not enough of anything, not enough of love, not enough money, not enough of anything going around. Really. Okay. Your next course in Canada is in Barrie, Ontario. Yes, it is. And it's in March. Yes, it is. And then we have another one in Kelowna. I don't even know when that is. If you go to braveheartnation.com or bhnuniversity.com, and you know why we call it BHN University? Because you can get your doctorate through us. Did you hear what I just said? You can come in fresh out of school, or you could be somebody's mother and all the kids are raised, and now you want to do what you've always wanted to do, and you can start off and become a whole life coach, Wolf Non-Surgical body worker, and you can work your way all the way through and take you about 3 to 4 years, and you won't be in debt when you're done, and you'll have your doctorate. And understand this, everyone, too. I don't do anything that's normal. I am never going to be normal, and understand this. I work through a gentleman, and he's a doctor out of Puerto Rico, and you can get your indigenous doctorate with us. And if you do that, I don't care what country you live in, there's no white man's government that can touch you, because you will be adopted by the indigenous Taino tribe, and you will be out of the jurisdiction of our government, whether it's local, provincial, state, or the country. They can't do anything unless you actually hurt someone. Listen, last year we had 3 doctors, and you don't have to be a doctor, a practitioner. The medical doctors are being under attack more. But we've had 3 medical doctors get dragged into court. And as soon as the judge saw that they had their indigenous doctorate and they were adopted by the Taino tribe, case closed. Do you understand? We can play their game too. And it's all just one big game. And I already told you, human beings are being raised, created, whatever you want to say, to we feed this entity that's lived on this planet for 250,000 years. And now you don't believe me, but it doesn't matter if you believe me. Go in and start off with the logical things you know you can do, because your brain can't handle this, because your brain can only handle that there's an old guy in the sky that's judging us at every turn, and we probably won't be allowed into heaven. Really? Seriously? I'm not going for it, not falling for it. Okay, all right, let's keep moving. How can you help with flu, fever, chills, cough? Well, right off the bat, you would never have the flu. Okay, the flu, let's just make something perfectly clear. Okay? When you get the flu, we're usually not talking about a bacterial problem, we're talking about a viral problem. I hope we've established that viruses aren't alive. They can't jump 1 inch or 6 feet. Okay? They can't even do a backflip. Okay? Viruses are heavy metals, man-made chemicals, and they're also, ready for this? Blue light. Yeah, blue light poisoning. Okay? And they're also EMF poisoning, which is like 5G. That's right. Because the invisible creates the physical, right? But the man-made chemicals, the heavy metals, those are the big problem. Now, when it comes to those things, how many heavy metals, how many chemicals do you think that people are taking in during Halloween? Okay, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Well, that's why there's going to be more people sick. Okay, there's going to be more people sick right after New Year's because of all the heavy metals and all the poisoning. And of course, all the sugars. Do you think that helps for immunity and integrity, and all the flours and all the dairy? Okay. So anyways, even your worms in the body, your bacteria in the body, and the fungus in the body will not eat the heavy metals and the chemicals. Why? Because they'll die. Did you get that? So to actually get rid of that stuff, you've got to have a drippy nose, a drippy ear. You've got to have diarrhea. You've got to be coughing and hacking. How do you think you're going to get rid of this stuff? So the reality is, if somebody has a flu, they better be drinking structured water. Take a look at my structured water unit, okay, on my website, because you get a 90-day money-back guarantee. You would never have to buy bottled water again. See, this is my kids. Look at this. Look at this. They're programmed too. You'll never see me have this. Listen to this thing, okay? This here has chlorine in it, okay? This here has 120 chemicals they don't have to put on here. This here is actually plastic. This is made out of petroleum. And that's why when you drink bottled water, okay, you can actually taste the plastic. Well, those are carcinogens. And guess what? You're not going to like this, but only a moron buys bottled water unless they're going to structure it. Look, I don't spend my money on bottled water. We live in Mexico. Okay, I've got a structured water unit on my place. I have a structured water portable that I carry around, and I'll put it under any tap. I don't get sick. I'll use a structured water unit on my shower. The filter never clogs. And even if there's chemicals in it, it won't bother me, because structuring is a God-given gift. That's why it doesn't matter how many chemtrails are up there. Well, first of all, there's no chemtrails in Mexico. That's why I love living here too. But doesn't matter how many chemtrails are in the sky, how many toxic chemicals are in the sky. When what happens is the ozone layer will actually structure the water. And even though the chemicals and heavy metals are still in there, when you drink it, it won't poison you. You didn't know that, did you? Well, that's structuring. Fast moving rivers, waterfalls, rain. That's why in some cities they make it illegal for you to collect rainwater, because it's healing, even though it could have toxins in it. Yeah, go figure, right? Anyways, everybody's programmable. Not me anymore. That'll never happen. I will not be programmed. You know, just think about this. So we got 8 kids home. Just think of every time that they did something, drank something, ate something, because they lived their own lives. And then I went and I said, look, you shouldn't be doing this, right? They already know that I know that they know. So what does it matter? They need to learn. And that's it right there. You need to decide how valuable you are. Until they have value, I could talk until the cows come home. Until they get really sick, then they'll listen to me, won't they? Oh, isn't that true? How many people in your family have to get really sick? But you do know that enlightenment comes through chaos. And you know, when there's great chaos, like there's been the last 3 years, those that were meant to wake up have woken up, and they're becoming very enlightened, aren't they? And they're standing in their power, and it feels real good to them. Yeah. Okay, so anyways, fever. Well, you got to have a fever. If you didn't have a fever, how would you burn off the toxins? If I had bad bacteria in water, I've got to boil it to get rid of the bad bacteria. So your body's going to boil you. That's just like women when they get their mini fevers, right? Hot flashes. Well, they're getting hot flashes because they don't have their period anymore, getting all those toxins out. And because they didn't realize that they backed up their colon and their liver, they're going to have hot flashes until their body can readjust to this new type of hormonal lifestyle. And that's the truth. You don't need to have hormonal replacement, okay? You need to get on what's called our concentrated humic black diamond, black gold. And guess what? You do that and you go in and do front end loading, you'll balance yourself out naturally with something from nature instead of trying to fix yourself from the other end. You know, women don't get hot flashes because their hormones are out of place. Their hormones are out of place because they're toxic. That's all. Oh no, it's because I'm getting older. No, it's because you're toxic. Would you believe that when you get older, you're more toxic? Yeah, because you've never learned how to change the game properly. Okay, I'm slowing down on those things. I don't drink as much and I don't eat as much sugar. No, you got to cut these poisons out. Okay, if you want to revitalize your body and bring up your spirit, why do you think they give us all these poisons? I mean, you can go anywhere and you can just poison yourself to death. And that's what most people are doing, right? Chills because it's lack of energy. You're trying to shake it off. You're trying to shake this off. Cough. You're trying to hack up the poison, and it's caught in your mucus. This is why you want to make sure you drink warm to hot structured water with Ormus minerals and black diamond in it. Okay, and then you take lots of curcumin cayenne 5000, 2 capsules every other hour, and you do more if you can. And then you make sure that you do like ultimate coffee enema twice a day when you have this fever chills, because you want to get that liver purging and you want to get that colon purging, okay? But the warm to hot water, doing 3 to 4 quarts a day, and with black diamond and Ormus minerals in it, is really huge. And 2 curcumin cayenne 5000 capsules, okay, every other hour or every hour, you'll burn it out. Curcumin cayenne, it gets rid of infection and inflammation better than anything else for the money. It really does. And get rid of all mucus-causing products. Everything. No crackers, no bread, no donuts. Okay, no dairy products. No luncheon meats. They're so poisonous. You have no idea. Okay? You got to just do things that are good for you, like soups, like lentil soup, or maybe yam soup, or eat yam, or just do some grains. But the less you eat, the better. Have you ever seen animals, when they're sick, they'll go out and they'll eat some grass? Well, because they need that to go in and clean themselves. They don't want to eat anything, okay? Yeah. So the reality is get the book. read The Perfect Day Guide. It's a beautiful looking book. The pictures in it, the explanations. We have spent hundreds of thousands of hours, and I said hundreds of thousands. And you go through there and tell me if you think anybody could create that in less than hundreds of thousands of hours. And it's all so simple. An 8-year-old child can read the whole book, okay? Yeast infection. It's not a yeast infection, it's a fungal infection. Yeast in the body is not the problem. And yeast turns into fungus, okay, because of too much antibiotics, okay, whether it's in your dairy products, your animal products, your fish, whether you just took it from the doctor, and you might have had the antibiotics 2 years ago, but because you don't know about proper bowel care or proper liver care, okay, whenever you've had an emotional crisis. You ever notice something? How do you feel after you've had like 5 to 10 minutes of emotional crisis? Kicks the crap out of you, doesn't it? So understand this. So when you have a crisis going on, you won't feel anything because you're in fight or flight. And as soon as the crisis stops, that's when you say you get sick, but you're not getting sick. Your body goes, now that you've taken me through hell, now I'm gonna lay you down on that bed for a few days, and we're gonna sweat it out, we're gonna poop it out, we're gonna cough it up, and we're gonna do all of these things because we need to get back into balance or you're gonna die. I know I exaggerate things, but it's getting the point across, isn't it? So fungal infections, okay, yeast infections. Now she's talking vaginally, so why isn't she doing the vaginal infusion? I will tell you right now that if you do the vaginal infusion, go look at it, it's in the Perfect Day Guide. If you go and you do the vaginal infusion, okay, you're gonna have relief in 20 minutes. Yeah, go to the source. What, I'm going to take drugs to go down and kill the fungus that actually disturbs and kills my good bacteria and then makes more fungus down the road, and now the problem's even worse? I mean, how many people do you know that take drugs, that stop taking drugs, or that don't end up having to have surgery because they took the drugs, and the drugs shut off the gut-brain connection, so now they don't feel the pain, they don't feel the inflammation, they don't feel the suffering, but now because of the fire of the inflammation, the dehydration, now their beautiful connective tissues are like beef jerky. So now they've got a big fibroid in there, or they've got a hip problem, or they've got a low spinal problem, and now they need surgery, which is BS. They don't need surgery. 95 to 98% of all surgeries do not have to happen. So now you're going to go, that's not true. Well, then why don't you get your surgeon to come on and do a show with me? Oh, come on, do it. Call your surgeon up and tell him that Dr. Wolf wants to do a show because he said that 95 to 98% of all surgeries don't have to be done when you're dealing with someone that's awake and they are a spirited being. That's what I just said. I'm challenging you. You go get your surgeon to give me a call. Tell you what I'll do. Tomorrow, I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to play an audio that I got from one of my patients in New York. And she went to who's supposed to be the best surgeon, spinal surgeon in New York. And I'm going to play this audio for you, and we're going to walk through it, okay? And then I'll dismantle it. And then you go get your surgeon and get them to come on, because I want them to get enough information, because we're going to have some fun, right? Human beings are being grown and created to feed an entity that's 250,000 years old, that's always lived here. That's not true. Okay, then why does it seem like the suffering is getting worse and worse? And we're so brilliant, we can't figure out why when you go to the hospital you get sicker. Why when you go to the supermarket you get poisoned. Why there's a corner store on every corner. Why there's a coffee shop on every corner. Why everybody's addicted to pizza. Why tortillas are destroying the Spanish people down here. Why alcohol is how we have fun. That's how we get it done. Okay, all right? Okay. What's the best way to clean your bowels? Well, daily cleansing tea, black gold, and don't get them dirty. Okay, so the large intestine is known as the compost of the body. So what I put in my mouth goes 30 feet traveling, and then it gets down to my large intestine, And guess what? If I'm putting fake food in my mouth, if I'm putting alcohol, if I'm putting sugar, if I'm putting flour, if I'm putting dairy, if I'm putting all these inflammatory foods in, okay, and I'm not putting any any organic vegetables and fruits and wholesome grains and things of that nature, because everything, when I take it here, should be fermented by the time it gets to my large intestine, because it's a compost, and when it ferments, it's going to make all this beautiful bacteria, and all that bacteria is going to be feeding the one original bacteria, which is mummy's bacteria, which is our immune system. But the reality is because you eat crap, because most people only have a 4-inch consciousness, and they will shove anything into their mouth, new and improved. You know, let's put it this way, if it comes out of a can or a box or a bag, it's not that good for you. If it's wrapped by nature, then we know it's great for you. And why don't you take a look at how much you eat, and then let's go by weight, okay? If 80% of the food in weight is actually made from nature and not made by man, okay, then you're rocking it. You're rocking it. But I guarantee you that the weight volume is 80% man-made and maybe 10% to 15% nature-made, and that's why you've been made and played. And you're going to keep on getting played because you're addicted. Because remember, the brain, okay, the subconscious 90% of the brain is just a storage shed for belief systems, and 70-90% of all the belief systems that people have are ones that are killing themselves and their family. How cool is that? And they call it love. How's your family in the way of love? Oh yeah, we really love each other. Well, you love each other the same way, but you really don't love each other until you know how to love yourself. Because you may love each other, but you play love ransom, because you're all still waiting to become tankful and get her to fill up your tank, and you'll fill up their tank. No, it doesn't work that way. Love is a self-serve job. And then I shine that light on everybody that I come around, and I do, and I will. And that's the pill, the only pill, okay? Please talk about non-contagious skin rash. Well, guess what? There are no skin rashes that are contagious. And the reality is skin rashes are always a nervous system problem, and they're also a diet problem, and your skin is a direct reflection to the health of your large intestine. Okay, so what people are saying right now is this guy's a moron. All he talks about is the large intestine, and hardly anybody talks about the large. My doctor never talks about it. He says whatever's fine. If I poop once every 4 days, that's great. If I poop 5 times a day, that's okay too. It all depends who I am. And your doctor's the moron, believe it or not. And the reality is this, okay, is that the skin is, the healthier skin is the healthier large intestine. And just know this, that eczema and psoriasis is the same condition. Psoriasis has got a thicker scab because it's older. You know, everything is a symptom, okay? Every symptom is a love message from your body saying, I thought we had a relationship. There's 50 trillion cells here. There's 500 trillion bacteria, and most of them are bad right now because you eat bad and think bad. And the reality is the most important community that you should ever really look after first is your body. And if you did that, my God, just the way you live, the way you move, the way you groove, I mean, everybody else would just pick up on it. You know, instead of going around telling everybody how to live, why don't you just show them how to live? That would be really cool, wouldn't it? Oh, but wait a minute. Now you'd have to spend some money and some time, and you'd actually have to go somewhere and get reprogrammed. Oh, and then that would be pretty difficult, because now you got to go back home, and you've got a family that doesn't know how to think right, drink right, eat right. And it's not their fault. People are not stupid. We're just programmed. And understand something. You need to get this, okay? This is no cage for me anymore. But you can say he doesn't know what he's talking about. But sit down with yourself quietly for a half an hour. Most of you live in a cage, okay? It's an invisible cage. And that's because the belief systems that actually run your life were not designed by you, were not created by you, okay? They were created by this entity. See, you have to understand the universe is really big, like huge. Like, tell me how big it is. You couldn't even tell me. And you don't even think about that. You just think about your own little world, and that's fine. But if you want to think about your own little world, then you better be using only beliefs and thoughts and programs that are based in self-love and self-care that honor and respect you from the moment you rise until you close your eyes. I am never going to shut up. I am never going to. This reinforced my life. So today, what did I have? Well, Lori made lentil soup. I had a small bowl of lentil soup. Yesterday, I just did juices all day and water. And last night, I did veggie sticks and guacamole. That was it. That's it. How am I doing? Am I lacking energy? You are eating machines. Nobody needs to eat 3 meals a day and 2 to 3 snacks a day. And understand something, most of you are addicted. Take a look at the foods you're eating. And every time that you eat anything that's sugar, flour, processed food, understand it's the actual worms and the fungus inside of you and the bad bacteria going, "Mommy, feed me." Why do you think all of a sudden you were, "Oh my God, I feel like I just want to have some da-da-da or this or that"? Okay? When's the last time you went, "I gotta have that and I gotta have it now"? A salad. Nobody says that. Nobody says that. Well, I do, because I'm used to it. People get used to certain things. Here's what I would tell you to do. Don't tell anybody how to live. Don't tell anybody how to eat. Let's see if you can do just even, let's say, a whole day, and then see if you can do another day. Let's see how long you can go without any sugar in anything. Let's see how long you can do that for. Go without processed food. Let's see if the next time you're tired, you don't go to the fridge, that you actually put a slight smile on your face, connect to your Lionheart breathing, 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out. You drink a large container, maybe 1 liter to 1 quart of warm to hot water with Black Diamond and enormous minerals. It tastes really good. And drink that, and then tell me how your energy came back. Or just go and sit under a tree and close your eyes and just do 15 minutes of gratefulness. And be grateful for the things you don't even have, and already feel that they're there. And don't allow any feelings of non-deserving, because guess what? I deserve everything. I don't want everything. I deserve everything. As soon as you deserve something, and you don't have sinner syndrome or guilt attached to it, it will come to you, and it will come to you better than you even pictured. Because that which did create the universe only has unconditional love for you, and the rest of this is all BS. Okay? The old guy with the beard that's judging you. Okay? Let me tell you something. I've always been a bad boy. I've always been a rebel. Okay? When I was younger, I did everything the opposite, and I have no guilt for it. I was not a sinner. I am a winner. And the reality is guess what? You couldn't make me feel bad if you tried, okay? Just because you feel bad, just because you have belief systems or you have some kind of religious belief that tells you you can't do this, you can't be this, and if you did this and you did this, then you need to suffer this long. Well, you go right ahead and do it. But don't think you're ever going to get me to suffer for even more than 1 second. I'll tell you something, even if I make the biggest mistake in the world, I'm going to apologize, and I'm going to observe it, and I'm going to grow from it. I'm not going to burn from it. And if I did something to somebody, and even if I didn't try to hurt them, and they were hurt, I'd say, look, I apologize. Tell me how I hurt you, and then I'm going to go, wow. I need to be more sensitive to this person's personality. This person is very fragile, okay? You gotta treat people with their belief systems. I mean, you can have like 5 kids and they're all different. They all have different ways. You can hug one and they'll want to hug long. You'll hug one and they'll do a hug where they keep you away from them. One will do a pat on the back like you're their pet. Everybody's got their belief systems. Don't judge people, okay? Observe them, and then ask yourself, how can I touch their heart? How can I touch their heart? How can I make a difference and let them know that they are loved and they are appreciated? And Hey, that's the way it is. It's a dance because we are not our beliefs. Okay? And when you're young, or even in the womb, we've all had different experiences while we're in the womb. And when we look at things differently because we have different perceptions than other people. So we have to treat people differently. I get it. So I'm going to keep on coming on here and try to shake you up a little bit, just a little bit, wake you up a little bit, and know this. Okay, your spirit's going to live forever. This thing here, this body of mine, it's going to rot. It's going to, when I pass on, but I'm not going to let it rot before I leave. Okay? I don't have a bunch of brown spots on me. I don't have a disease because I am at ease with myself because I love and care for myself. You can't tell your family that you're going to buy into this love and care BS that I'm trying to teach you because they're going to say that's selfish. And as soon as you start taking a little bit more time at skin brushing or doing a vaginal infusion, or you do the mirror work where you look in your eyes and you tell yourself, I love you, I will protect you, I will respect you. Go take a look at the Braveheart Oath in the Perfect Day Guide if you want to get that. And learn it off by heart. And then say it 10 times in the morning and 10 times at night. My God, if you don't start protecting yourself, you're going down. And you know why? I'll tell you who the real tyrant is. It's in here. It's in here. It's not out there. And as soon as you're able, it'll take you 9 months of hardcore work, okay? If you came and took my whole life coach certification, I'll give you a money back guarantee that in 3 days, I will change your life, okay? And if I don't, I'll give you your money back. How good is that? Okay, we'll do the same thing with the Wolf Non-Surgical. There's no other course that in our course, every practitioner comes, even if they've never done any body work in their life before, we guarantee that every practitioner, we've taught thousands, that when they do a treatment on somebody and they're booked for surgery, that they're not going to go to surgery. So when your doctor says you need surgery, yes, he's right with his beliefs. They're very limiting. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. I'd say that it's only 2 to 5% of the population actually needs surgery. Bone on bone my butt, will you? That's just displaced calcium and scar tissue. Okay, you can reverse anything if you really want to reverse it. But the problem is, a lot of people with diseases, okay, they were first started here, they've already given up. They've already given up. They're so angry, they want people to suffer in their family. So they got victimitis. Some people don't think they can get enough love because they're not pretty enough. Who in the hell would love me? And the only way they can get attention is with their sickness. So understand something. I got the game, and I'm not going to judge anybody for it, but I am going to sit back and I'm going to analyze the situation. I'm going to say, how can I get in and touch this person's God spot in their heart and let them know that there's a better life for them? How can I get them and outsmart the beliefs that are actually destroying them that they don't even know they have? Seriously. If you're not abundant on all levels, then you haven't even started to look after yourself. I have no worry about money, no worry about health, no worry about nothing. And listen, is there chaos in my life? There's always going to be chaos in my life. There's people in my life that don't want to they don't want to do anything for themselves. I've got children that do hardly anything for themselves. But I keep my mouth shut and I hold the line. Dad, do you want to drink? Dad, do you want to eat this? Dad, do you want to eat that? No thanks, honey. You go ahead though. Love them anyways. Love yourself anyways. Have a beautiful day. So like I said, we do have our sale on. If you want to take advantage of it, go check out pdgfree.com. I'm telling you, even if you don't like me, you're going to love my manual. And if you don't like me, I get it. Let me tell you something. Probably 30 years ago, I wouldn't have liked me either. You have a beautiful day.